let's take a trip to the Pusilowski Pyramid.
We'll start with the teams left off. Unfortunately, we have 2 new teams that have been left off, which means 2 teams have been elevated to the pyramid. The New York Giants and the New Orleans Saints are now left off. No comment on the New Orleans Saints. I think the Giants have a chance to easily get back in, depending how Dart plays, but with the schedule, man, they may not win a game for a while, except maybe in New Orleans in 2 weeks.
Did you have them on Own 17 watch at the beginning of the season?
Yeah, and I also took their unders on a bunch of their different win totals. I think I have them under 3.5 and under. I think their win total was 5.5. So I think I have both of those. Also have the Jets on both of those, and that one is looking good as well through 3 weeks, as they are 0-3 as well. But the Giants and the Saints have to be left off. The Dolphins continue to stay left off. Okay offensive performance. How is Mike McDaniel not fired yet? And in the Titans' case, they did force the Colts to punt, and so that's something to celebrate. But Brian Callahan is the worst coach potentially ever.
He's already given up play calling duties.
Potentially ever.
Did you see that?
Yeah, go ahead. If you can yap about that for 1 second, I have to find this tweet.
Yeah, it's given to the quarterback coach, which I just like. I guess that's good, but like you gotta fire Brian Callahan. The guy's just.
Is this year 2 for him? He hasn't been
I'm
there.
not positive.
Vrabel was the head coach, I guess, before him.
It's year 2.
Okay, I
Year
thought
2.
so, but he just like from the stuff he says, how the game operates, and it being week 3, and the team already kind of looks like they don't want to be there.
Yeah.
And is week 3, like okay, if you're 1-15 and you're playing your last game, yeah, the team probably really doesn't want to be there. You can't be 0-2. You just had the first overall pick, Cam Ward, and you already just don't really look like you care that much.
Yeah.
You need to take some lessons from Dan Campbell, Brian. But it's not great. I don't think they're going to win almost any games because of that.
And then from the Dolphins, the offense, I mean, they had a close game against Buffalo in Buffalo. Is that right? It was in Buffalo?
Yes.
Buffalo
on Thursday
favored by
night.
like 8.5, 10.5, something like that. Like it was not supposed to be a close game, and the Dolphins made it a close game, kept it a lot closer than I think I expected. I don't know about the rest of y'all.
Yeah, I wish
Go for
Tucker
it,
was
JP.
here for this, but so the Titans at the end of the first half lined up around midfield like they were going to go for it on 4th and 1. They're trying to draw the Colts offside. Colts call a timeout. They come out ready to run another play, the Titans, on 4th and 1.
So bad.
Titans call a timeout. They decide, okay, we'll kick a 57-yard field goal. After 2 straight timeouts and coming off their own timeout, they have a delay of game. Now it becomes a 62-yard field goal. They miss. Colts took over from the 48-yard line. Colts got to the 24 in 2 plays, make a field goal, take a 13-point lead going into the second half.
Yeah.
It's just
I saw that
awful. And it's, again, for the Giants, they had a very similar case. They have the ball at the 40-yard line. Russell Wilson throws an arm putt for no reason. It's 6-6. They have a chance to take it 9-6 going into the second half. Arm punt for no reason gives Malik Neighbors almost no chance on a 1v1 in the end zone. Neighbors doesn't even try to play defense, but I don't know if he had really time to react.
I think he was shocked the ball came his way, to be
Yes.
honest. Like he
The
looked
Ch-
stunned in the back corner
The
there.
Chiefs get it. They come down. They kick a field goal, 6-point swing. Again, the same scenario. It's just Brian Callahan is the worst coach in the NFL, and he ain't got long. Cam Ward's gonna have a new coach.
Good.
No way he didn't have it by the end of the year. They don't have a new interim coach, but he'll definitely have a new head coach next year. But those are the teams left off, and I've already talked too much about them. They don't deserve to be talked about this much.
Bill Belichick, future Titans head coach, after his tenure at UNC.
I
ends
doubt
quickly.
it. I insanely doubt that. It has not gotten any better with North Carolina, and they have the Clemson Tigers coming to town.
Cannot wait for that
Maybe
game.
not this Saturday, but next Saturday.
Should be on the CW.
About to say it's like the primetime ESPN game, isn't it?
Yeah.
You want to go tier 7?
Tier 7. The Bengals have to drop Jake Browning has played 6.5 quarters of football. He has 5 interceptions. Chase Brown, through 3 games, who was being drafted around 24 in fantasy football, has 47 carries for
80-something yards.
93 yards. 47 for 93 yards. That is
Talking about Scatterbo could win you leagues. Chase Brown is losing people leagues.
less than 2 yards a carry. That's like 1.99 or something. Bengals have to drop to the bottom tier even at 2-1. What an embarrassing performance against the Vikings. Ugly. Cowboys, again, the secondary is cooked. Trayvon Diggs is just terrible. He just
Didn't
gives
y'all
up.
just extend him, or was it Deron Bland?
Deron
who
Bland.
extended?
He got paid. Trayvon Diggs got paid 2 years ago.
Yep.
They just extended Deron Bland. He is just giving up free touchdowns, I guess.
The flea flicker the Bears ran was actually so terrible, but so good because somehow Luther Burden's just that wide open.
Yep.
The pitch back traveled like 8 yards plus or something like that. It was just bad all around, and then it's a touchdown because the Cowboys are even worse. So
And Trayvon just lets Romo Dunze walk by him for whatever reason. I have to go watch that in all 22. It was just terrible. It might have been again another confusion on coverage. The same thing happened last week. Diggs gave up 2 touchdowns because it was almost like he was confused on the coverage and just refused to play what his role was. But the Cowboys are not worse than the 4 teams off the
Sure.
tiers, so they stay where they are. The Bears, the defense improved a lot, and I had reason to potentially move them up. But we need to see more consistent performance. They're 1-2.
yeah,
That was against the Cowboys. They were great offensively, but who hasn't been against the Cowboys? The Patriots, they fumbled the ball 4 times, lost fumbles off of all 4 of those fumbles. And for whatever reason, they refused to play Travion Henderson, who has literally never fumbled ever. He did not fumble 1 time in over 350 carries in his collegiate career at Ohio State. For whatever reason, they don't want to play him. They continue to play Antonio Gibson and Stevenson. They gave up 14 points off of those fumbles. They lost 21-14 to Aaron Rodgers, who was not that great offensively in that game. Jets, again, what is this defense? What is going on? They're giving up 340 yards per game and 31 points per game. Offense showed some life with Tyrod Taylor. They actually went from, I think it's second highest rushing percentage to they passed the most from a percentage standpoint this weekend with Tyrod Taylor. Justin Fields probably returns this week, though, coming off his concussion. But welcome to the pyramid, the Cleveland Browns and the Carolina Panthers, both with really, really big wins this weekend. Browns defeating arguably the best team in the league through 2 weeks in the Packers, 13-10. As I said earlier, Joe Flacco has a 2-4 touchdown interception ratio, 2 touchdowns, 4 picks through 3 games. But their defense has been elite. They're allowing just 204 yards per game. The next closest is 229 yards per game. So defense has been elite. If they could figure out something with quarterback play, this team could actually potentially make the playoffs. Will Dylan Gabriel, Shador Sanders be that? I doubt it. We'll see.
They should trade for Kirk Cousins.
They should trade for Jameis Winston.
Yeah, for real.
trade for Marcus Mariota.
Any of those would work over Joe Flacco, honestly. Carolina was outgained by 108 yards. They were worse on third down. They had less first downs. Bryce Young threw for just 114 yards, and they won 30-0. I'm speechless. It's diabolical. I'll get more into that in our next tier for Tier 6, where the Falcons are now. The Falcons have dropped. This is okay. So, in our Falcons preview, and even in the season preview, I told you the Falcons are going to Falcon,
Yeah.
and that's coming from a guy who was a Falcon season ticket holder. I just know how this organization works and what happens. That is the most 3 weeks of Falcons football you've ever seen.
I feel like it was almost impressive even for their standards.
heartbreaking loss where you miss a field goal to win the game. That's Falcons 101 right there. Dominant surprise on prime time for like no expected reason. What is going on? Are we actually really good? And then I don't want to say the F word, but I would say what the actual fudge just happened this
Yeah.
Sunday. Penix was awful. It's just Raheem Morris, the things he was saying in post game. Ugh.
Well, they fixed the problem. They're bringing their OC down to the field now. That
It's
fixes
just-
every issue.
I would hate to be a Falcons fan. I'd take what's happening with the Saints any day of the week over that. The worst part, they don't have a first-round pick next year, so they better turn it around and get good because they can't even fix it in the first round in next year's draft. They have to drop. I really wanted to drop them lower, but the teams below them are not playing well enough either. The Broncos, they stay where they are, 6 3-and-outs on Sunday, as I said. Sean Payton, Bo Nix, they haven't clicked. That with all the weapons too, they're wasting a really good defense. Cardinals, it just seems to be a reoccurring thing with Kyler and the Cardinals, where they just lose. They make up ways to lose games. You have the ball coming out of the 2-minute warning, 3rd and 9. San Francisco has one timeout at midfield. They throw the ball. Kyler isn't even close. They lose. They lose to Mac Jones. Like, you get the safety on Mac Jones with 3 minutes and 15 seconds left, and you couldn't convert off that kind of momentum. It's just they invent ways to lose, the Cardinals do. The Texans have to drop at 0-3. The offense in 3 games has scored 9 points, 10 points, and 19 points. Their defense is allowing just 17 points per game. They are wasting a top 5 defense, and they have inarguably the worst offense in the league. It's insane at 0-3, and it doesn't get any easier. They play, I'm pretty sure, a really tough opponent this weekend.
Who's this? The Texans.
The Texans, if you can find
They
that for
play
me.
they play the Titans.
Okay,
So
never
next
mind.
weekend they play at the Ravens.
That's
probably-
what it was.
Yeah,
In 2 weeks
they-
they play at the Ravens.
Yeah, so they get
they're
Titans at
staring
home.
down the barrel of 1-4.
Yeah.
And they may not even win this weekend. We'll see. The Vikings move up. McCarthy's supposed to be out until Week 7 against the Eagles. And they have the Steelers and the Browns next, both overseas. I am going to ask the question right now. If Wentz is 3-0, beating the Steelers and Browns, do you keep playing Wentz?
Yes.
Yes.
The roster,
I agree. They would be 5-1 at that point.
The roster
win
is
now
too
roster.
good. The roster is too good to be trying to develop a rookie quarterback when he's shown issues. Whereas if you've got a quarterback, and also it depends on what Wentz, like how Wentz plays, and that team gets to 5-1. Like if they're winning games like 14-7 on the back of elite defense, maybe take a shot with McCarthy. But if you're putting up 21, 24, 28 points a game, and Wentz is throwing a couple touchdowns, keeping it to 1 turnover a game or less, like I think you give Wentz the shot.
Agreed, 100%. That's going to be an interesting storyline.
For the sake of them, they kind of need Wentz to suck.
Why?
Like in terms of to make the decision for them and to like clear up all optics
Sure.
of the whole thing of like why not just re-sign Sam Darnold or whatever, like just
Because then if I assume Wentz is not on a multi-year contract or
No, he's on a 1 year.
yeah, so then they do run into the potentially. I mean, this is
Well,
this
not-
is weeks away, but like imagine
Carson Wentz
imagine they
the
get a Sam
extension.
Darnold like a Sam Darnold
That'd be
Carson Wentz
crazy.
revival, and then they do the exact same thing and like sorry Wentz, we've got our guy in JJ, he's just waiting in the wings.
they're just over there like
Yeah.
here's a little mean mug.
Yeah, that'd be crazy. I can't wait to see how that plays out.
It's going to be interesting 2 weeks. We'll watch them both pre-church at 8:30 a.m. the next 2
Huge.
weeks. So get up early to watch them play the Steelers and the Browns. The Raiders stay where they are. Geno has literally zero protection, but he was actually pretty good statistically on Sunday.
you know-
I would argue.
Do you know who leads the NFL in passing yards so far?
Geno Smith.
He is second now. He was
Okay.
passed by.
Well, Russell Wilson passed him last week, I thought.
Oh well, it's right now. Number 1 is Justin Herbert.
It's Justin
So
Herbert and
Justin
Geno
Herbert-
Smith. Which
Yeah.
Justin Herbert
would
at
look
1.
at that.
Geno Smith at 2, separated by 29
That's exactly
yards.
how I feel.
As someone
Yeah.
that watched the Commanders Raiders game, and mind you, the Commanders don't have a good pass rush. The Raiders don't have a prayer of being a consistent offense.
Yeah.
because if you're just going to constantly get sacked or tackles for loss in the run game, you're just always behind the sticks.
Yeah.
You can't string together drives. Shout out Trey Tucker, though, I guess. Like, just cooking out of nowhere. But it's just it's not a
gonna
good
be
look.
big waiver wire ad for no reason. He's not going to produce like that. He hasn't been like that through 3 weeks. He just had a big game. Genty still has more yards after contact than yards total.
Yeah.
That has to be fixed.
That's because he's, just to explain, he's getting hit behind line of scrimmage more often than he's getting hit past line of scrimmage.
Correct.
Or on
Roughly,
average, his contact point is behind the line of scrimmage.
Yeah, we don't do-
there are plays he is making where he breaks 2 tackles immediately behind the line of scrimmage, and then there's just another guy there.
Yeah.
Genty's not a bust. The offensive line
Yeah.
is.
Ryan Clark, you are wrong.
Yes.
Did someone say Genty's a bust?
Ryan Clark
Many
was like,
people have said that.
I know, like, he may be okay, but, like, watching Ashton Genty, you need your running backs to have it, and he doesn't have it, is basically what he said. And it's like, all right.
That's crazy.
He's also a bozo just in general.
Yeah,
so
he's also
he's one of the
got
worst people on
CTE.
air. So, yeah, we'll chalk it up to that.
I mean, if you go watch Ryan Clark hits,
He definitely has CTE.
the kind of hits he had back in the day, he was trying to kill people, genuinely. That gets us to tier 5. The Steelers stay where they are. Offense is simply not there, and it was not there this weekend. 193 total yards. But one of my favorite phrases from Chris Berman: "A win is a win is a win is a win," and they won this weekend, so they get to stay where they are. I'd ask Jacob, and I think he'd agree. There's no way you can walk away from that game feeling ecstatic about the Steelers going forward. They, as I said, go to Ireland and will play the Vikings this Sunday at 8:30 a.m. The 49ers move up. They're 3-0. Like, you can't put that any other way. Mac Jones has 2 gutsy wins, 2 game-winning drives, but they're building an infirmary in San Francisco. Nick Bosa, ACL. Kittle, hamstring. Purdy, toe. Ayuk is still out with the ACL. CMC is due for an injury
About to
at
say,
some
it's
point.
just a matter of
With
time.
the amount of touches he's getting.
Exactly.
Trent Williams is not getting any younger. Fred Warner having to do so much, like that just.
Did you even
it's-
say Purdy's hurt?
I did. Purdy
Okay.
with his toe injury, like it's just not looking good. 3-0, they've bought themselves enough wins. Maybe they can sneak into the playoffs, but I just don't think they can compete for the division with the 2 teams I have higher than them in the Rams and the Seahawks. The Jaguars move up. They're 2-1. You can't really put that any other way. If they don't choke last week by kind of some bad play calls and then being scared of Jake Browning, they're 3-0 easily. But the story of this team is not Trevor Lawrence and Brian Thomas Jr. It is their defense and then just their ability so far to win games. That has got to be fixed, though. Like, the defense got it done in Duval County on Sunday, but Brian Thomas Jr., like, they got to get that going. He's getting the targets, but he has the lowest catchable ball rate in the league, meaning Trevor is just throwing balls that he cannot catch. Like,
Yeah.
it's just physically impossible. But in a day full of walk-off victories, they were one of the teams that did it defensively, and that is a statement because that was a question coming to the season, was their defense.
Something to watch for
They
them
move up.
as well is right now the other team in that division that's shining, the Colts. They don't play them until December, and then they play them twice.
Twice in 3 weeks.
Twice, December 7th and December 28th. So twice.
in
Is that
4
4
weeks.
weeks?
Yeah.
So that'll be really interesting to see how that plays out. Do we get to a point where one of those teams, like
Did they play last week of the season?
second to last, they get the
Okay.
Jaguars last week of the season? So it says it'll be on
Who gets the Jaguars?
the. Sorry, they get the Titans.
Gotcha,
Sorry, the
gotcha.
Jaguars get the Titans. It says it's on January 3rd or 4th.
Yeah, it's on Saturday or it's on Sunday.
Interesting. I didn't realize they could flex games day to day like that. But that'll be really interesting because right now, I mean, the Colts and the Jags are sitting at the same tier on the power ranking. Both teams, Colts are undefeated. I'm sure you'll get to them in a minute. But they don't play each other. And right now, they are looking at the 2 teams that will be dueling for the first spot or
Yep.
for the division.
The Colts, I had to move them down in a win.
I mean, they had to punt, so.
They had to punt. but it was because of how impressive two other teams were that they got jumped.
Yeah.
And they, like I said, had to punt, but they've only punted one time this season. So the Colts, it's not like they played bad this weekend. It's just the two teams played really good this weekend, in my opinion, and they had to move down. The Commanders, any win with the backup quarterback has to be celebrated. It was a team performance on Sunday. They got a big 2 weeks of road games at the Chargers, and then there's another road game in there before they return home for the Hail Mary rematch on Monday Night Football. So a big 3 weeks for the Commanders. Jaden Daniels' health, that needs to get figured out.
Yeah.
Any updates?
He's day to day.
Yeah, so who knows?
But he was questionable
Quinn-
going into the Raiders game.
Dan Quinn said we'll know more Wednesday.
Cool.
But I think with how well Mariota played Sunday and you pick up a win, I don't think they'll play Jaden Daniels until he's like just 100% ready to go all the way back because they just view him as a long-term asset. They're not going to risk that.
Gonna have to start looking for a state shirt in your size, then I guess.
The bet's not looking great, but just you wait till Marcus Mariota goes back to the West Coast.
True.
You know,
That is his.
drums up his Oregon days and
Yeah.
just lights y'all up.
Does he still wear the 808 face mask?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I also will say,
Because that was the thing. Like in college, he had the face mask that had it was like a 8, a 0, and an 8 because it's the area code
Gotcha.
for Hawaii.
in reference to that bet as well, Terry McLaurin's dealing with quad issues, so he also may be out
Well,
for a
okay,
couple
Khalil
weeks.
Mack hurt his elbow, so
Yeah, we don't have wide receiver 1 and QB 1.
yeah. Well,
and running back 1.
y'all have running back.
You got
one.
Bill.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
we
it.
got-
You have your.
He
actual
wasn't
running back
he wasn't
one.
even running back 1 this
No,
past week.
they were 3 running
Yeah.
back ones. They triple split the
Chris
carries
Rodriguez,
almost exactly.
Bill, and
The
Jeremy
snap
McNichols,
percentage was literally
who had the run of the day for the
36,
Commanders.
32, and I think 29.
They basically were like, all right, this is your drive. Next drive. Okay, Bill, this is your drive.
Yes.
All right, Jeremy, this is your drive.
Are they just? You think they're trying to figure out like in game who is the best option?
I think it's
Part of it.
I think in their eyes, Bill is the best, but since he's a rookie, they're not going to just hand him the keys at this point in the season.
Yeah.
That's stupid.
I mean, it's similar with Marion Hampton. Like, they just don't fully trust the guy
Yeah,
yet.
but I feel like Bill has been better with the opportunities he's had than Hampton has.
He has.
Maybe. Yeah.
He's actually been productive
So it's
in
gonna-
their 2 home games.
I mean, to be fair, Jeremy McNichols had a 60-yard rush where he broke multiple tackles. Chris Rodriguez looked fine. I know it's the Raiders,
Yeah.
but like all of them played well. So
yeah,
enough on the Commanders. We
yeah,
can,
yeah. I
keep
mean,
moving up the
that's got
pyramid.
that'll be one of the games we preview, right?
It has to
Yes.
It's got to be.
Absolutely.
We ready for tier
But
6?
we get to keep
Tier
talking
4.
about the Chargers.
Tier 4. I'm going the wrong way. Tier 4. Oh, that'll be the 4th week in a row we talk about the Chargers. That's
Yeah.
crazy.
We will take a long hiatus after, I swear. Maybe.
I don't know.
I doubt it. We'll see. The Chiefs, finally a win. As we said earlier in the show, big opportunity this week now. Ravens, Chiefs, loser is 1-3. Just going to be an insane, again, game in Kansas City. It'll be on CBS. I would assume Jim Nantz and Tony Romo will be on the call, so that'll be must-watch television. The Ravens are favored by 2.5 right now, so we may see a return of Chiefs' best bet plus 2.5. We'll see. But I may also quit betting the NFL with my best bets because
Yeah.
it's just not
some
going
of
well.
the bad
I'm
beats.
3-7 on the NFL with best bets.
That's tough. Also, we had our Commanders Chargers is in 2 weeks. Chargers
Okay.
Giants is this week.
Yes, yeah.
That gives Daniels.
I'm not talking
an ex-
about Jackson Dart.
Yeah, that gives no. So we will not be covering the Chargers 4
Huge.
weeks in a row. Continue. I just wanted to clarify because we
No,
were
good call.
mistaken.
Yeah.
That's in 2 weeks. So
Yeah, good clarification.
For the Chiefs, still no running game. The receivers are dropping passes again. That's just like becoming a problem again. Kelsey again was frustrated. This time, Andy Reid pushed Kelsey off of him in the game. And as I said earlier with the Giants just handed them this game. Like, they just did not care at the end. So I can't feel impressed. So I can't move them up. But this is a power rating and a power ranking. So I would still have the Chiefs right here on this tier with these kinds of teams in a single game. I feel more confident about them than the teams below them. The Lions, they move way up, and this is one of the teams that jumped the Colts and is the reason the Colts dropped. They're the first team to really show an answer to Lamar. I think kind of in recent memory, going back to like the AFC Championship with Kansas City, like that's the only other time where the goal wasn't just to outscore Lamar. Like they weren't trying to outscore Lamar. They held him down defensively. I think the biggest thing for the Lions, if I had to point out something that's not good, the run game is still concerning. Like, if you take out David Montgomery's big rush, they were only averaging 4.4 yards per carry last night. So
You want more from Gibbs, for
I
sure.
want more from Gibbs, especially. The loss of Frank Ragnow is still, it seems to be kind of a problem. I've mentioned that stat multiple times.
And even from Montgomery, his yards per carry doesn't look bad, but it's big time boosted by his 70-yard rush.
Yes.
This woke nonsense, man. Median yards per
we got
carry is
into
just
it.
crazy.
We were watching the game last night, and my brother has Montgomery in fantasy, and he was like, "Well, Montgomery is better than Gibbs because he averages more per carry." And I was like, "I mean,
No.
he gets the benefit
Been
of
better for Gibbs than Gibbs in that game.
Oh,
Not
okay.
like
I mean, my brother has some hot takes,
we'll get him on the show.
but I was like, I get like, yes, shout out him for breaking that big play, but also like you have to take a player's box score in context, and like if a player averages 5 yards per carry or 4 yards per carry, and they're getting 3, 6, 8, 3, 2 consistently, and then you average 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 75, like you have to take box scores contextually, and that's one thing that he wasn't doing, which is to say that other than that big play by Montgomery, there are improvements from both running backs that could be made.
Yeah, and I would say to counter that, they ran the ball well when it mattered.
Yeah.
They had 4 rushing touchdowns in the game. I just want to see it, like they pass the ball to get down the field, and then they run it well in the red zone. I'd like to see running game consistency throughout, because if you're going to be in shootouts or if you're going to be in spots where you have a 10-point lead in the second half, if you can't run the ball all the way down the field, then you're not going to be able to bleed the clock, and that might be a concern for comebacks going forward. But they deserve to move completely up, moved up 2 tiers to be specific. Their mojo is back. The momentum is back. Pause the coordinator conversation for a while. The Rams stay put. Their 2 blocked field goals on Sunday from being 3-0. It's just like I said, just a shake your head kind of loss. Like I just don't think you can have bad feelings about the Rams from this game. Besides the fact that, can we beat the Eagles?
Yeah.
Other than that, I thought they were great, and they really took it to Philly in their house on Sunday. Just unfortunate they couldn't protect a field goal, and they lose in that fashion. The Ravens have to move down, and my note here is, come on, man. How many losses are you going to have shooting yourself in the foot? Lamar was holding onto the ball too long on Monday night. The defense is bad again. And like I said, I just don't think you can expect another turnaround like they had last year. Moving on to Tier 3. One of the biggest jumps of the weekend, the Seattle Seahawks are on Tier 3 for me. Jack, who is the highest rated quarterback according to PFF through 3 weeks?
Samuel Darnold. I wish I knew his middle name for emphasis, but
Make one up. Go.
Samuel Christopher Darnold.
Cool.
I doubt it's Christopher, but that
Well, throw your hat in the ring. I'm looking it up right now.
Samuel William Darnold.
Ooh, that's a good one. I'm gonna go Samuel James Darnold.
Samuel Richard Darnold.
Oh, Samuel Dick Darnold?
That's crazy.
No
I'm
way.
gonna start calling him that. Dick Darnold.
That's crazy.
Oh dear.
But he is the highest rated quarterback through 3 weeks, and it's not like they're throwing the ball a ton. They're just running really good offense. Their offensive line is protecting Sam. He's been sacked just 3 times.
Which was
And
a
their
big question
defense.
going into the year.
Yes, the offensive line was a huge question with Seattle radio. They spent a first-round pick on Greg Zabel. The offensive line is protecting Sam, but they're also calling plays well to protect him well as well. They're a Sam Darnold fumble from being 3-0. Their defense was, insane. They tore apart the New Orleans Saints. That's really the only way you can put it on Sunday. They deserve to be in Tier 3 for me. I think the defense, along with how the offense is playing with JSN, they are a Tier 3 team for me. The Chargers stay where they are, and that's surprising, but I'll make the take for it in a second when I reveal Tier 2. Gutsy win, 3-0 in division, firm control over the division. They've been elite. Packers, embarrassing loss. They have to move down. Up 10-3 with the ball with 3 minutes left. All you have to do is not turn the ball over. Jordan Love, instead of taking the sack, forces a throw, pick. They return it all the way to the 4. I mean, the defense completely does their job against the Browns on Sunday, and they've done their job all year, and they lose that game in devastating fashion. Next week, Micah returns to Dallas, Sunday Night Football. That's the storyline is Micah Parsons, but the storyline is Jordan Love. The offense is struggling through 3 weeks. If they can't cook the Cowboys secondary on Sunday Night Football,
Alarms start going off.
Alarms start going off. The Lions now become the favorite to win that division going forward. That is the big question and storyline for me for this Sunday, not Micah's return, as much media and drama as that will get, as it should. Tier 2, Eagles. As I said, no further questions, Your Honor. Just throw the ball more. Saquon needs the help. The Bucks, 3 game-winning drives for Baker Mayfield. And this is a team. It doesn't matter who's hurt, what the momentum in the game is. They just find a way to win. Their defensive line has been excellent. They pressured Tyrod Taylor 35 times on Sunday. I revealed the stat with the Seahawks last week. They pressure the quarterback 50% of the time so far this season. That's against C.J. Stroud. That's against the Falcons and Michael Penix, and then with Tyrod Taylor last week, 50% of the time on dropbacks they pressure the quarterback, and they're just been elite defensively. And with Baker, he has the ball. He's going to go win the game. Last, we have the Bills. The game was close on Thursday, but did you ever think they were going to lose?
No.
Yeah. They've scored on 19 of 26 drives. They missed a field goal on Thursday. Otherwise, it would be 20 out of 26 drives they've scored points on. Insane. That completes the tiers, or the pyramid, I should say. The
Did
Bills
you
up at the
give your
top.
case for
My
Chargers?
case for the Chargers is if I would understand a case for moving them up. But right now, Eagles, Chargers, who would you pick to win? Who do you trust more in the game?
I mean, I'm going to say Chargers, but like realistically, it's
Eagles.
probably Eagles.
Bucks, Chargers, who do you trust more in the game?
I think that's pretty 50-50.
I trust the Buccaneers,
I'll give
and
it to
that's
the
why I
Bucs,
have
though.
them on the
Yeah.
tier 2. And obviously with the Bills, you trust the Bills more.
Yeah.
So that's the case for me why I wouldn't move the Chargers up. I think they're the only team, though, you can make the case to move them up to tier 2. As I said, no further questions on the Eagles and the Bucks. It doesn't matter who's hurt. They were out with Tristan Wirfs again. They're going to be without Mike Evans for 3 to 4 weeks. It doesn't matter the momentum of the game. Like, the momentum completely flipped in the Jets game. Doesn't matter. They're going to go find a way to get it done, and they've done it 3 weeks in a row.
Sure.